Say it with me. I am now living a good life. I understand that the best life possible is through service to my fellow man and woman, and I desire to live the most abundant life. So previously in chapter 2, we established, and maybe I need to go back and reestablish the fact that the best life possible, the wealth that we choose to pursue, is in the pockets of other people. Myron Golden pointed that out. He's some kind of like business consultant, preacher type of dude, right? But having experienced that connection to two dots and realized that money is exchanged when value is exchanged. So sometimes we can offer our services with our skills, our time, our expertise, whatever, in exchange for some money. And usually we consider that a job. But then sometimes people consider that contracting work. And sometimes people consider that a business. And sometimes people consider that charity. But it's the service, people serving people, and people interacting with people is what the business transaction is, right? So this repetition was for the greater good of our community. We have to use our God-given gifts to serve others. Today, it seems that many people claim to be depressed and overwhelmed, unable to offer help to anyone but themselves. The selfish lie, however, is the least fruitful. How often do we hear statements like these? I'm shy, so I'm not going to make you feel welcome. I'm tired, so I'm not going to give you a hand up. I'm behind on my own bills, so I can't help you financially. I'm not close to God, so I can't pray for you. I'm trying to chew and talk. And the priorities are just somewhere else. Sorry, I only have one more to go. It's only 3 minutes. We got it. I'm not close to God, so I can't pray for you. I'm not in the garden, so I can't offer you a piece of fruit. And I turn my computer on because it's like another light, so it kind of makes it look less ghetto-ish. Lack is everywhere. Pessimism shapes our world beyond just what we see. When we desire something and don't have it, whether it's necessary or not, it deeply affects us. The root of suffering is wanting. If we never wanted the latest phone, for example, we wouldn't suffer from its absence. But all of that simply could be solved by serving one another. We are placed on earth to serve one another, and in their final moments, people often remember this truth most clearly. It goes into path to greatness, and Jesus Christ was like, if you want to be considered great in the kingdom of God, you must serve the many. This is chapter 3, I Am Pheonix, by the way. This is another book reading / a pizza tasting. Your boy doing a book reading. Big things. wealth of service. Another great reason to serve rather than cheat or steal from others is that people naturally want to share their wealth. Money is simply a representation of value. At times, it feels heavy in our pockets because we are eager to spend it on experiences, comforts, and often people. The wealth we seek is held by others. Service is what unlocks that exchange of value. Some choose to lie, cheat, and steal to get it, but shortcuts inevitably lead us back to where we started, here at rock bottom. There are always bad options, but we're here in this chapter to discuss the right way to live an abundant life. Do thieves and murderers go to heaven? Even a child would say no. There's a clear distinction between good and bad. We wouldn't place bad people into a good place. A good shepherd wouldn't let wolves tear apart his flock. Why would we expect unrepentant criminals to thrive among those who treasure life? The world has too many worst-case scenarios, but Christ's example, even here, offers a way out. He showed us how to live and die the right way. Biblical principles teach us that to live the truly abundant life that Christ promised, as the Good Shepherd, he set the ultimate example of how to lead and serve. How can we achieve greatness? Oh, excuse me. It must be the pizza. Look, I don't claim to know it all, but I do know this. I am relatively professional and polished in a few areas of my life, and being on stage, on social media, doing a book talk, and not eating a pizza, it just doesn't bother me too much because I'm not trying to impress anybody. For some reason, these videos still get viewed. And sometimes, some people feel a connection simply because my content is very imperfect. It's very in the moment. I do have some unique perspectives, and I do have a choice of words, right? But I guess the pressure to be liked, the pressure to have some polished content, and try to be socially acceptable, especially when you're a boss, is one ridiculous concept. Why not just like be yourself? But then you can change yourself a little bit to be a better version of yourself. But sometimes I don't upload these videos because I'm like, oh, I don't ever want people to remember me like that. Or sometimes I delete the content from last year because I have grown, I have changed, I have developed the frontal cortex, vortex, brain part got a little bit more developed, and I realized that I was being silly last year. But there was a comparison and a gauge of growth, I guess, right? Because I do these little progress videos for myself and sometimes for who's ever watching now. Obviously, I'm not just talking to myself. The path to greatness. How can we achieve greatness and live a rich, abundant life? Through service to many. It's the value you provide to others that unlock their treasures in exchange for your services. Goods and services are traded for value, represented by currency. Many great thinkers have explored what it means to live a good life. Many great authors have shared the insights of those who are successful, rich, happy, and blessed. Living a good life can be studied, observed, and shared with anyone willing to seek it. We have only one life, so it might as well be a good one. And that's kind of my favorite saying. We have only one life, it might as well be a good one. I've wasted months, years in some shitty situations. And then hypothetically, I mean, I guess my urgency kind of stepped up a little bit because I'm a little bit too vocal. I'm assuming somebody will pop me off one day soon. So technically, there was a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. I wasn't sure if I was gonna wait till 75 to make all of these realizations and write the book from life experience. I just had to put together what I pieced together so far, and the more I wrote, the more it made sense, and the more of a perspective I developed, I guess. Which is how I'm over here doing book talks. Last paragraph. Jesus, in one of his teaching moments, explained to his disciples that to be great in the eyes of God, one must serve the many. How we serve is up to our unique gifts and abilities, which we will discuss further in the book. For now, we're laying a solid foundation as we meet together here at Rock Bottom. Yeah, so not everybody's a writer, not everybody's a musician, not everybody's a car builder, a tile guy. Not everybody makes great pizza. Some people do though. I can't cook, but I'm over here doing book talks. But if there was 9 billion people and they were all cooks and we all made great pizza, how crazy would that be? Or how uncrazy and boring would that be? Anyways, I'm gonna finish off my pizza in peace. Thanks for tuning in.